He's the frontman of one of the most beloved bands of the 21st century. A man whose voice has serenaded generations with soul-stirring lyrics about love, hope, heartbreak, and healing. Chris Martin has built a reputation as Coldplay's beating heart, the gentle, eco-conscious, spiritually grounded star who brought us Fix You, Yellow, and The Scientist. But now, that image might be unraveling, because behind the golden lights, sold-out tours, and flower-laden stages, a much darker story is beginning to surface. A story involving secret offshore accounts, NDAs with young influencers, shady real estate deals in tax havens, and an inner circle that some insiders are calling more cult than crew. For years, fans adored Chris for his quiet integrity. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't reckless. While other rock stars flaunted their wealth, Chris walked barefoot onto stages. He meditated, ate plant-based, hugged trees, dated Gwyneth Paltrow, and spoke in soft tones about kindness and connection. But according to multiple leaks and whistleblowers, the Chris Martin the world sees might not be the one who exists behind the curtain. It all began with one mysterious document. A financial ledger, anonymous, encrypted, and loaded onto a whistleblower forum, appeared online. It was labeled simply Project Ivory, and inside were names, bank transfers, holding companies, and buried deep in a list of corporate aliases used to funnel music royalties offshore, one name stuck out like a bolt of lightning. CM Harmony Holdings Limited. The address? A shell company based in the British Virgin Islands. The account? Receiving over £12 million annually from musical licensing and digital experience fees. The listed director? Christopher Anthony John Martin. At first, fans tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a legal structure. Maybe his accountants did it without his full knowledge. But then, more began to spill. A second leak exposed internal emails between Coldplay's management team and a notorious entertainment law firm that specializes in reputation shielding. The emails discussed controlled narrative management in the event of luxury assets being traced and proposed media smokescreen tactics including fake charity rumors, surprise collaborations, and leaks of relationship gossip. In other words, distraction. But distraction from what? Because, as it turns out, while Chris Martin was on stage preaching about sustainability and urging fans to reduce their carbon footprint, he was quietly purchasing multiple private islands, yes, islands, through an offshore network of trusts. These weren't eco-villages. These weren't nature reserves. These were lavish, palm-lined properties outfitted with imported wood mansions, private airstrips, and luxury yachts. One insider described them as James Bond villain lairs disguised with hammocks and incense. Worse still, workers who were flown in to construct these secret retreats under confidentiality contracts have come forward anonymously, describing exploitative work conditions, sudden firings, and forced silence. One worker even claimed, "He told us he didn't want negative energy on the island, so if you questioned anything, you were gone." Suddenly, the peaceful image began to crack. But financial secrecy is only half the scandal, because another, far more personal bombshell is threatening to destroy Chris Martin's carefully curated legacy. According to reports surfacing from multiple European tabloid sources and a now-deleted exposé posted by an ex-assistant, Chris has been quietly engaging in relationships with much younger influencers, musicians, and even spiritual consultants, many of whom were required to sign strict NDAs. These aren't just rumors. Screenshots of messages, emails, and travel itineraries have emerged, painting a picture of a man living two lives: the public peace-loving philosopher and the private globe-trotting star with a revolving door of curated companions. One anonymous insider said, "He treats these women like extensions of his spiritual brand. He brings them to retreats, gives them personalized crystals, tells them the universe brought them together, and then ghosts them when the energy shifts." And the most shocking claim? That some of these women were coached by handlers on how to dress, speak, and behave in public, especially if photographed near him. One source described it as Gwyneth 2.0 cosplay, saying he has a type ethereal, delicate, yoga-obsessed. It's not a relationship, it's a casting call. For fans who followed him since Coldplay's early days, the revelations feel like betrayal. This was the man who told us love was all we needed, who said, "Lights will guide you home," who sat at a piano with tears in his eyes and made millions feel seen, understood, and whole. And now, That man is allegedly hiding millions in tax shelters, ghosting young admirers after isolating them on private islands, and managing a network of publicists who scrub damaging photos from the internet faster than you can say "Viva la vida." Social media has erupted in fury. Hashtags like Coldplay cover-up and Chris Martin exposed have trended globally, and fans are demanding answers. Is this the man we've idolized for over 2 decades? Or has the entire Coldplay story been a beautifully constructed illusion? To make things worse, Coldplay's official accounts have refused to address any of the circulating allegations. Instead, they've doubled down on dreamy photo filters, vague inspirational quotes, and posts about universal connection. But the silence only adds fuel to the fire. Because when a story breaks like this, when multiple sources, leaks, and first-hand accounts converge, it's not just gossip. It's a reckoning. And the deeper we look, the worse it gets. A former tour assistant recently came forward, alleging that the band's eco-friendly tour initiatives were 99% PR stunt. While Coldplay publicly claimed they were minimizing carbon emissions with solar-powered stage rigs and biodegradable confetti, the assistant claimed that behind the scenes, the crew was still flying private, consuming massive energy loads, and leaving behind piles of waste after shows. It was all for optics, they said. Chris gave a speech about protecting the planet and then left in a gas-guzzling convoy. It's theater. And fans are starting to see it. What was once unshakable admiration is now being chipped away, tweet by tweet, confession by confession. Music forums have erupted with debates. Some are deleting Coldplay albums from their libraries. Others are demanding Chris step down from climate initiatives and issue a full statement. A small but loud group claims they've known something was off for years, that the overly polished peace and love aesthetic always felt a little too rehearsed. The most heartbreaking part? Some fans say they feel like they've lost a piece of themselves. Coldplay was there for my darkest days, one post read. Now I don't know if any of it was real. This is more than a celebrity scandal. It's the collapse of a cultural icon. Chris Martin didn't just sell records, he sold meaning. He sold a version of life where love triumphed over pain, where spirituality and kindness mattered more than profit. But now, all of that is under question. And unless he addresses this soon, with truth, not PR spin, this may become one of the most damaging implosions in modern music history. The man who once sang "Nobody Said It Was Easy" may find out just how hard it is to rebuild trust once it's gone. Because no matter how many inspirational quotes you post, no matter how many pastel sunrises you put behind your lyrics, the truth always finds its way through. And when it does, the lights don't guide you home, they expose you. If you think this scandal is just the tip of the iceberg, if you're done falling for media-manufactured halos, and you believe fans deserve the truth, then hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications right now, because more is coming. We're diving deeper. More leaks, more insiders, more truth behind the Coldplay illusion. Because when the music fades and the lights go out, what's left behind isn't the melody, it's the mask. And trust us, this mask is cracking.